Okay, so I am in Virginia doing the Virginia Allstate right now. Hot Springs in Homestead Hotel, like The Shining. Beautiful hotel, old, just like the movie. Anyway, I'm working with the kids in the jazz band, Virginia Allstate Jazz Band, and I'm telling them stories. They're asking stories about Maynard and all that stuff. So I told them a story, and they said you should post this story. So I'm going to do it. So here it is. Um, Maynard, because he was a player, because he could improvise, and he was a great bebop player. If you only heard his Rocky and Gospel John and that kind of stuff, you don't really get an opportunity to hear him play bebop. But if you check out recordings like Dues and Jam Session with Clifford Brown and Clark Terry, he plays great. He plays great bop with those guys. Anyway, so as a great player, one of the things he always liked to do was whenever the solo part came, he wanted the rhythm section to act like a small group, not like a big band rhythm section, which to him meant a rhythm section could really be keeping heavy time to hold together, 17 people. And then when it turns into a small group where you're actually backing up a soloist, it could become too heavy for that kind of thing. So Maynard always wanted the soloing part to be a small group type head for the rhythm section. Play across the bar, polyrhythms, bass may lay out, the drums may lay out. He could do anything. So anyway, what he would do is he never really planned anything, which now I like, but when I was first on the band, I didn't quite understand what he was doing. But we were playing Cincinnati Riverfront Stadium. It was a jazz festival, one of the Budweiser festivals. They sort of took over the Newport thing. And let me get this. Anyway, so what he does is we're playing on a stage behind second base. There's a camera right on you, and there's a big screen behind you. If you turn and look, you can see that you're on this screen like 50 feet by 30 feet, and your nose is huge. Your pores in your nose are like 7 feet wide. It was really strange. Cameraman's right up there walking around while you play. So we're playing. This is like my third or fourth job with the band, and I was still trying to figure everything out. So my good friend Nelson Hill, great alto player, is standing right next to me, and we're playing, and as the band's playing, and boom, 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 somebody's out front soloing. Maynard turns to me and goes, and he turns around, and I was like, what? And Nelson's playing, and I asked him, Nelson, what happened? What did that mean? What's going on? And Nelson's playing, you'll be okay. You'll figure it out. I said, what did that mean? He goes, he likes to use signals. You'll be fine. So I didn't know what the heck that was. And he would do that all the time. And when there was a chance for Nelson to explain it, someone was up front soloing, and I said, what's going on? What's going on? I have cameras on you? I don't know what all this business means. All this stuff. And Nelson said, no, you will get used to his signals, because he won't plan anything. But if you get used to his signals, then you can do anything you want at any time, and you're not really worried about a plan. If you come up with a plan, like you take two courses, then you can forget that stuff, and you freak out because you forget. But if you don't plan anything and you get used to these signals, then you just stay aware, and you could do things right in the moment. So what this meant was, Nelson explained it, he says, you are going to come up here and solo, but not yet. Watch me. And I was like, wow, how am I supposed to unpack that? I mean, where was the manual? I didn't get it. So, it's a lot like being a parent. You think you know what you're doing, and then you just have to figure it out as you go. But he had signals, and he would do all kinds of great things up there. You would be playing, and all of a sudden the rhythm section would cut out. You'd be by yourself. You didn't signal that. He'd like to have fun with the rhythm section. He would like to have fun with making different types of, like, not sonorities, but different types of, like, sound collages, I guess, behind you when you would solo. And it was pretty cool. And as a result, once you got used to his signaling, then you wound up not worrying about anything. In fact, you got to the point where you never planned anything. And I got used to that. Those of us that played with Maynard became very used to signals. So when I lead my band at Rowan University, where I teach them these signals, and once they get used to it, it takes a few shots. Once you get used to it, then you can really do anything you want. And sometimes the best moment of the chart would happen in something that he would create. So you might have a 2-measure spot where you would solo, sax. You may have a 2-measure spot where you would solo, and then in that spot, that thing could last 15 minutes. And he would shape things. He would have another player come down, cut out the rhythm section. He would play some kind of contrapuntal improvisation, and he would count the rhythm section in, and then he would have the band make backgrounds. And it was all in this 2-measure thing, 2-measure vamp. And he could pull out of left field, and as long as you have people that can improvise, he made a lot of great things happen. So the signaling thing was a great idea, and I use it now. And it's actually less stressful once you learn the signals, because there's less stuff you have to remember. Planning how many choruses and all that, it's restricting. Some charts you can do that with. Other charts you can't do that with. If you play a ballad, you pretty much read it from left to right. Not all arrangements are good for that technique to happen, but some are. Funk tunes, Afro-Cuban tunes, where you have a vamp and it's a solo, he went to town. But anyway, the signaling thing, it was nerve-wracking in the beginning, but just remember, it's all good. It's all good.